If anyone's played any video games in the 90s, they've probably seen you.
Yeah, probably.
That's Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam.
NBA Jam was my first. That's my claim to fame. And as I worked with Midway Ballet at the time, that's what they were called, Williams Midway Ballet, we were all doing like pioneer stuff where they were shooting these people in front of a green screen and then putting them right into the video game. So since there weren't very many actors around at that time, much less females, they kept on rehiring me for the next video game that somebody had going on. It would be like a different group of people going, okay, let's use Kerri for this one.
So it wasn't that you were with Midway. They just kept reusing you for all these different...
Right. Wow. Yeah, they said I was easy to work with and I could do some stunt work. So they just kept on hiring me.
And you were one of the first people, too, where they used real images on video games. Because prior to that, it was just the 8-bit graphics.
Yeah, back then you could actually have a real hero to look up to.
That was crazy. Did it feel like you guys were pushing the needle as far as doing video games at that time?
Well, there was always the violence issue because that was new at the time, with the blood spurting out and then ripping out the spines and all that.
In Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that was the biggest drama. And I spent a lot of time doing speeches and stuff like that at schools saying, hey, it's about martial arts, and, that's discipline and self-respect and all that. The last thing we want to do is fight. And this is fantasy. Your kids should know from wrong from right. So,
are you doing that as Sonya when you're going to these speaking events?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because my mom wouldn't let me play the video game as a kid.
Yeah, my mom wouldn't let me listen to Prince. So here we are.
Did it feel like there was a lot of pushback from the public on Mortal Kombat?
I think it was mostly just media, the media hype. But, there were so many fans. And it would be parents bringing their kids to, like the live tour. And it was a huge bonding moment for a lot of men and their sons.
You took over Sonya. You were not the original, but you took it on from Mortal Kombat 3, 4, and on. When you were stepping into the role, was there much mold that you had to fit for it? Or were you kind of just figuring it out as you go?
There's a lot of people that don't know about all of this, but they totally revamped MK3 with new characters and everybody because there was the drama from MK1 and 2. The actors didn't realize that it was going to blow up the way it did. So once it did, all of a sudden they didn't want the original contracts that they signed.
Oh, the original actors in Mortal Kombat 1 and 2.
Yeah, they tried to sue the franchise and it didn't work. So that's when I stepped in to replace Sonya, and a lot of other characters were replaced. At
that time, too, you're doing all new technology creating this game.
Yes. Yeah, everything was new. We had no rules. The computers crashed all the time because we didn't have enough RAM, and we were being paid by the hour. So I was always like, hey, it's okay. I don't mind if the computers crash because I'm working by the hour.
Were you aware of how big Mortal Kombat was at that time?
It was starting to blow up by time MK3 came around. I had heard of it, but I wasn't a gamer, so I had no idea how big it would actually be. And gosh, here we are 30 years later, and it's bigger than ever.
What was the most challenging part about doing some of the moves as you're capturing it for the game?
Nothing. Nothing. My background is gymnastics and boxing and a little bit of WWF wrestling. So whatever they asked me to do, I wasn't a martial artist, but like Carlos Pacino would stand on the side and say, hey, do this. And I would just copy. And it worked.
Are you on wires or anything? Because there's moves where you have to be thrown on the ground and you're doing the flips.
I would actually do the flips in the air, and then they would take those sprites and make me do whatever, to stay up in the air. Or the bicycle kick, I remember, was like on a stairs. They had like this wooden steps, and I just went back and did the bicycle kick. Now I can do it easily in the air, no problem.
And one of the most fascinating things too is that you have to do the move, put all the power, but then go back to that original stance.
I think that was probably the most challenging thing is starting and stopping in the same position, because you move so much while you're doing the move, but then you have to come back to, steady, ready.
Well, What's up, guys? Real quick, I have an announcement from the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. Because if you've been looking for an excuse to try one of these, I have a pretty good one. June 11th is National Ice Blended Drink Day, and the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf is doing $4 regular ice blended drinks from 12 to 6 p.m. But it's only for that day. So whether you already love them or you've never tried them before, this is kind of the perfect time to do it. It is their signature drink. Super smooth, blended, a little more on the treat side. And they've got a ton of flavors like mocha, vanilla, caramel, cookies and cream, hazelnut. So there's really something for everybody. Caramel, we have the caramel drizzle along the side. So you get it with every sip. You get it with every suck. Spin it around. Nothing short of delicious. That is sweet. That is flavorful. That is caramel. That is a craving worth hitting. I'm saving this vanilla for my wife. She's addicted. She loves it. I love the classic caramel, but also the mocha, the vanilla. None of them are a miss. So if you do go, let me know which one you end up getting. Grab a mocha, walk around the mall. Perfect Friday night. What's up, guys? Real quick. The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every goal changes everything. And now FanDuel is giving you a reason to root for every single one. Introducing Every Goal Pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. That's right, more goals means more bonus bets, and all you have to do is turn on your token. If you're looking to add some more fun while you're watching sports, from the opening whistle to the final kick, FanDuel has you covered. Check out my link down below if you want to get started today with FanDuel. This month for soccer is going to be insane, and I cannot wait. Did you have an idea of how much that game would explode?
Absolutely not. No. I mean, here I am 56 years old and I'm still putting this costume on. So no, had no idea.
Which you have the original Sonya Blade costume here.
I brought it. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, can we see it?
This is the original MK3 costume for Sonya. It's a little faded. Colors have run a little bit, but that's the top, a little wrinkly. But hey, it's kept up over the years. Here's the pants.
So it was just one suit that you had?
Sorry, just one suit. And it's been around the world. It's been with me. I've never given it up. I've had a lot of people offer me a lot of money for this, but, you know, someday I'm going to hand it down to my daughter and she'll take over.
What was the biggest offer at what point in time?
I think so far I've had about an offer of $8,000 for it.
For the outfit? You don't want to sell it?
No, I don't want to sell it. No, this is history. Do you want to touch it?
Yeah, can I?
Just don't smell it, okay? That'd be weird.
This is crazy. This is history.
Yeah, it is.
Who made it?
She had a little business. Her name was Cindy Makes Things. And I don't even know if she's still around, if she still does what she does. I don't know, but she made all the costumes for us in those days.
Do you mind taking me back to the original audition for Sonya when you went for this?
I didn't audition. I was asked to do NBA Jam, and then after that I did Revolution X. And then they just asked me to do Sonya. So I didn't, because they knew I already knew how to do the stunt work and all that. They just asked me to do it.
Was the pay for a video game back then similar to just
$150 an hour?
An hour?
Yeah, that was it.
How is that comparative to a modeling rate?
Well, at the time it was pretty good, you know, especially when you're doing like a 23-hour shoot. So, you know, there would be times where we would be shooting all day long and go into the night and then come back the next day. So it was good money for me at the time.
I imagine Ed Boon and John Tobias are all there throughout the entire process.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Those guys are goofballs, and I'm kind of a goofball too. Probably heard from them. But we are always messing around and, you know, making the shoot longer than it should have been.
Who's funding it at that point? Is it Midway?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned that you did WWF stuff.
Yeah, I did a little bit. I had some training. There was a guy, his name was Tommy Ferrara, and he trained me to do the WWF wrestling. So back then, you know, when I was like 19, 20 years old, we'd go from club to club, and we'd have like the Foxy boxing, where it would start out with boxing, and, you know, we're wearing not much, you know, like a half top and those boxing shorts. And we'd start out boxing. I was always the heel. I don't know why. Don't I look like a baby face?
You definitely look like a baby face.
I was the heel all the time, and I loved it. Absolutely loved being the villain. Still do to this day.
Did you ever get to WWE tryouts or?
No, I never did. Just I got into modeling, and it just never came up. But absolutely love that time, and it was great training to learn how to fall and all that stuff. It's actually saved my life a couple times. I got thrown off a horse once and just tucked and rolled.
You just knew how to take that bump.
Yeah.
What do you think that you brought to Sonya Blade on Mortal Kombat 3?
she was just a little bit different as far as like her moves. It was a little bit more acrobatic. The original Sonya was more martial arts. So I did a lot of flips and that kind of stuff. But I kept up with her through the years. You know, I did all the interviews. I did the tour. I just, she became part of me, you know, and her attitude was kind of similar to mine, you know, no nonsense, you know, give 100% in whatever you do and stay honest.
Those Mortal Kombat tours were massive.
Yes. Yeah. It was, I think about 9 months of my life where I lived on a bus and we traveled the whole United States and it was awesome. It was probably one of the best times of my life where you do a couple shows a day, you go backstage and you get back on the bus. And before you do, you have hundreds of kids just mobbing you, holding pens up in, you know, their playbooks and stuff and wanting you to sign it. And I would stay there because I thought it was temporary. I thought, you know, this is my time to shine right now. I am never, ever going to go through this again. So I would stay there and sign every single little kid's autograph that they wanted.
You're the only female on that tour too, right?
No, there was a few more. I mean, you've got there was Katana, there was Sindel, and a lot of the Barakas were female. So there was, I want to say, another 4 or 5 women on the tour.
How was video game culture at that time?
It was really, really booming. I mean, it was just taking off like crazy, and I don't think anybody had any idea how big video games would be until, you know, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and all that stuff came out.
Because that was Super Nintendo days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the cartridges were the main thing. Sega Genesis too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about the arcade culture where people would go play Mortal Kombat at bowling alleys or pizza shops?
I had a lot of fun just kind of popping up to those places. And I actually still do. Like if somebody's playing Mortal Kombat and me just standing behind them, people kind of, you know, go like this and then they tap the person on the shoulder. And of course, they screw up their game. But it was so fun, especially when we would do the conventions. Yeah, it was great.
Because your face is on the side of the game too.
I'm not sure about MK3, is it?
I think it is.
I know Revolution X. Yeah, I don't know. I have a cabinet down in my basement, but it's Revolution X. It's Mistress Helga.
And what was her character?
Well, I played a couple different characters in Revolution X. I was the cage dancer in the bikini, and then I was the girl that you had to save in the orange dress. We shot with Aerosmith that day, and then I was also the villain, Mistress Helga.
Did you work with Aerosmith?
Yeah, just for one day. They came in for one day, and we did, I think it was like a 12-hour shoot, and that was surreal because, you know, from me to you, Steven Tyler was singing. So I got my own personal concert.
He's just singing to you.
Yeah, and no, for the game. But yeah, I pretended it was for me.
How do you originally get into video game acting? Because that was really rare at that time.
I was just kind of thrown into it, you know, and I just went with it. It was fun. And I just relished every time they asked me to do another game. I was like, sure. I mean, I loved working with all the people there. We had so much fun, and I couldn't wait for the next game. And then 3D came around, and they started, you know, just taking pictures and wrapping your skins around the mocap models.
Did the fans like that at that point?
I felt like and it's kind of nostalgic. Even now, you know, the 40-somes are wishing it was still like that again, you know, where there was actual people in the video game. But
there was some kind of magic to it.
Yeah, but now you got voice actors and stuff, so I think there's that.
Right. You were doing modeling before the video games too?
Yes.
And that's what led you into video games?
I was working for Playboy, and I started out as a model, and then I turned into a producer and a makeup artist. And I was in the office editing photos one day for the flats, and I got this weird call. One of the girls that was in the office, she said, "Kerri, this guy is asking about a video game. Do you want to take this?" And I'm like, sure. And it was Jack Hager. He was looking for 2 models for a video game called NBA Jam, and he needed 2 cheerleaders. So I knew one of the girls that was a Playboy model. She was also a Lovable at the time. And I said, well, I'll bring her with me and I'll show up. I have no idea how to cheerlead, but I'll just copy whatever she's doing. And that's how it all started. It was kind of crazy, just being at the right place at the right moment in time and changing your life.
Did you play video games at that point?
No.
Not at all.
I watched. I think I had a Sega Genesis, and I would watch my siblings come over and play Sonic. That was about it. Yeah.
Did you spend any time at the Playboy Mansion?
No.
Did you ever meet Hugh?
No. Well, yeah, I did. I did at a dinner once, but that scene wasn't really me. Yeah. I was just there to model and work.
Was that at the height of all of their popularity?
I think so. Yeah, it was really popular at the time.
How do you spend your time now?
Well, I'm a mom of 4. And my twin boys that were born first are special needs. They were severely disabled. So that's why I disappeared for 20 years, was I felt like I needed to be home with them because their care was so intense. They're G-tube fed, nonverbal. They have cerebral palsy. They're in reclined wheelchairs. And I did just lose my son, one of my sons, a year ago.
I'm so sorry.
So it's been a hell of a year for me. But, picking up and trying to get back into life and pretend it's normal. But my other son, Luke, he almost didn't make it also after his twin died. So it's been this year of me researching a lot and getting into peptides and supplement therapy and IV therapy and all that stuff. And I've been doing it myself because whatever I give him, I do to myself too. I'm like this constant science experiment. But both of us have probably the best quality of life that we've had in a long time because of these peptides and supplements. So he's thriving now. He's doing great.
What have you found about the peptides from before and afterwards?
Oh, God, inflammation. Everybody's got inflammation in their body, and these peptides can take that away, which, gives you longevity. I mean, if you think about like inflammation in your body, it's like the number one thing that causes every disease, right? So if you can get rid of that, your quality of life just skyrockets.
Can you explain what a peptide is? Because is it like an amino acid? Is it just a powder?
Yeah, it's a chain. It's a small chain of amino acids. So it's very natural. You have like over 7,000 amino or peptides in your body that are naturally occurring. So what science is doing is making these peptides that you can put back into your body, because as you age, as you don't eat right, as you don't exercise, and you don't do the things you're supposed to with your body, don't sleep, don't drink water, whatever, your peptides kind of get messed up in your body. So putting them back in, all of a sudden you're reversing the aging process.
So speaking on your experience, did you go to a doctor to figure out what you needed to take?
Doctors don't really want anything to do with this. As far as they listen to me more than, I'm asking them questions, because it's alternative medicine, and FDA hasn't approved a lot of it, and they can't really go off protocol, because there's always liabilities. So I was on my own, just researching, Googling, ChatGPT, all of that stuff, and it's brought me down so many holes, rabbit holes. But I've got a knack for it now, and I've actually got a lot of friends that I help out with peptides, and I kind of feel like my own little clinic or something.
And that's just an add-on to your regular workouts and your own healthy eating, right?
Yes. Yeah. I don't eat processed foods, and I don't really drink that much. And this is all stuff that I just took out of my diet and in the last 2 years. And I started menopause a couple of years ago, and the inflammation in my body was just crazy. I had gained like 10 pounds in one month. And I'm like, this is bullshit. There's got to be a way out of this, hormone therapy, all that stuff. And there's just not enough information out there for women on how to get over menopause, because you really don't have to go through it. You don't have to go through the night sweats and just all the joint pain, all of that stuff that it causes. There's another way, and there's peptides, there's hormone therapy, there's supplement therapy, all of that stuff. And I think we're just on the edge of this great breakthrough that hopefully, if Big Pharma will let us do it. Oh God, we don't want to start talking about that. It will just improve so many people's lives.
Is it a needle or is it a powder?
It comes in a little vial, and you add your bacrostatic water to it, and it's like insulin. The very first peptide that was invented is insulin back in 1960 something, I believe.
And did that get FDA approved pretty quickly?
I don't know the time frame on it, but that saved many people's lives who are going through diabetes. So, yeah, just little chains of amino acids, and it can save lives. Saved my son's life.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
You've gone through 3 pregnancies.
Yes.
How is it getting back into shape for you? Because you're a very fit person.
I think it's kind of a state of mind, really. For me, it was like, no question, I'm going to get back into shape no matter what. And I also breastfeed at the time too. So I would lose too much weight after pregnancy because all the calories that you're giving out, and I'd be working out, and, I didn't have a heart. I'd bounce back within a few months. I know a lot of women hate me saying that, but it's true.
No, it's inspiring, because my wife was wondering too, just if there was any secrets that you had.
Yeah, I think it's motivation, and just taking that time for yourself. You got to be a little bit selfish. You got a new baby, and you're probably spending a lot of time in bed with this baby, but you have to be a little bit selfish and take time for yourself to stay healthy.
When you're filming for Sonya and doing the video games, did you have to do any kind of additional workouts to make sure that you were camera ready?
For the tour, yeah. It was 3 months of 12 hours a day in the Catskill Mountains. I was trained by Pat Johnson.
They're training you for the tour?
Yes. Yeah, we had to, work out all our fight scenes, and everything was just choreographed on stage.
And what kind of martial arts are you learning?
It was Tang Sudo.
Korean style, right?
Yeah. I believe at the time, Pat Johnson was like 8th degree or 9th degree. Yeah, he was amazing.
Do you think you still have it?
I can still kick. You want me to try kick your head or something?
Kind of. What was your favorite Sonya move?
Well, the kiss of death, that's my favorite fatality. But I think like the handstand stuff. I still do handstands today. I just love it. And it keeps my shoulders in shape, and I don't have to worry about, frozen shoulder and all that stuff, because I keep doing these handstands, and it makes you keep your arm strength, and it also makes you keep your flexibility.
How many variations of the kiss of death did you do while you were filming the video game?
That's a really good question. I've never been asked that before. Gosh, I don't know. I don't really remember. Probably several. I'm sure there's probably several in there. You're gonna have to ask Ed how many he's got stored away there.
Does he still have all that original?
He does. Every once in a while, he'll send me a video of back when we were filming and stuff. The last one he sent, he was laughing because we were doing hand movements, and it got kind of mundane for me, so I just kind of went like that and and started cracking up. But yeah, he's got a lot of stuff still stored away that nobody has seen.
Were you part of those conversations, or just overhearing when they're doing the whoopsies and those other little things that came out through the game that was pretty specific just to that?
There is a lot of stuff that they added after. I mean, like my friendship. I was just waiting for the camera to get set up for the next shot, and just standing there, and decided to do, one of these weird hand movements, just being a goof, and they made it my friendship. So a lot of that stuff was built after we were done shooting, that I had no idea until I actually saw the game.
Did you feel a connection to her after it came out and you saw the fan love?
Oh, definitely. Being on tour, and also being autistic, I was undiagnosed at the time. I became her, and it was hard for me to come out of the character when I would come home for visits. I remember my husband at the time being mad at me because it's like, this isn't you. You don't have to be Sonya when you're home. And I was just basically like, I'm having a hard time coming out of this character. I love her so much, and I think there was a lot of attributes and stuff that I just permanently was engraved into my brain.
In what way? You kept her toughness?
Yeah. Yeah. Just for life, in life, just keep at it, keep a positive attitude. There's always something on the other side to get you through whatever you're going through. And the hardest time in my whole life was this last year. And, having the fans and stuff saying, it's okay, Kerri, you're doing great and stay strong, stay strong. It's when you keep hearing that in your head, it just keeps on rotating in your head. It happens, positive thinking, if you can do positive thinking, you can really change your perspective.
Why do you think that the game held such a lasting impact for the past 30 years with audiences?
Well, it's fun to beat the shit out of somebody when you're really mad at them and there's nothing else you can do with a video game. But, you could probably pretend that's somebody that you know or I don't know. But the martial arts aspect, I think Mortal Kombat has really gotten a lot of people into martial arts. It got me into it.
Do you still train today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not as much martial arts, but I do a lot of calisthenics, which makes martial arts easier.
Right. What'd you think of the new movie?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think it was what the fans were waiting for. I think this last movie, they really listened to the fans, and especially with the fatalities and the fight scenes and just keeping to the story and the characters. I just absolutely loved it. It was like I stepped into Mortal Kombat.
Is that the creators still holding on to the IP so they're able to steer the direction of it? Or is that the movie studio?
They're working together. Yeah, they're
Oh.
both working together. You got Hollywood and the creators of Mortal Kombat working together, and it's a beautiful thing.
It was so cool seeing my childhood just come together on the screen.
Yeah, yeah. It was kind of funny because, Ed's in the movie now as the bartender.
Everyone cheered for him during that. I'm like, who's
Yes,
that guy? But
yeah,
now I know.
The whole theater started cheering, and it was great. And he was just kind of like, you could tell it was a proud moment, full circle for him.
How come John Tobias didn't want to be in it?
I don't know. I don't know. He's pretty quiet and kind of to himself. So
Would you think of Martin Ford's physical appearance? Shao Kahn.
accurate.
Massive.
Yeah.
Did you see him walking around?
Yes. Yeah. And actually Brian Glenn was there with us too. So to
The
see
original
those two,
Shao Kahn?
yeah, the original Shao Kahn. So to see them together, Martin's a little bit taller, but it was pretty cool.
I love seeing everybody just walking around, even Carl Urban,
Yes.
just hanging
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I walked up to him and introduced myself, and he was like, oh, we're riding on your coattails. And he was just very, very gracious, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
And I
because
got to meet Sonya, too. We took a picture together. It was great.
everybody played you as a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
And I didn't get to play them.
No.
It's such a terrible thing.
Do you have any insight as to Mortal Kombat 3? I know they're writing a script, but has it been greenlit or picked up or anything?
I know it's going to happen. I don't have any insider information or anything, but I know they're talking about it, and I think it's going to happen.
If you were offered a cameo in it, would you want to be part of it?
Fuck yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
What kind of role would you want?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Sonya's mom. Maybe she can go through something. Maybe she could get engaged, and Johnny could have to meet the mom. Wouldn't that be funny? I'm making shit up now.
Do you mind sharing what else you brought here today?
Yeah. This is one of the original backstage passes that I had to wear for the tour. I have my card on the other side, just to prove it was me. It was kind of like my ID that I had at the time. Because sometimes you walk into the stadiums and they're like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I just went to get a bite to eat. Don't you remember?" But yeah, I don't know what this key is for. I have no idea.
How much coverage was there at that point
Coverage.
of these events, the live show?
Oh God, I was one of the promo people, so I would fly ahead to each city, and I would do radio, print, TV, the news stations, all of that.
Everybody
Magazines.
wanted you guys.
Yes, yeah. The schools, we'd go and do speakings at the schools, and
High schools or elementary schools?
both. we do demonstrations and everything. It was great. And these kids, they look up to you like, oh, I'm going to get into martial arts now. And that was my favorite part, is when the kids would get into the martial arts, because I mean, any kid that gets into the arts like that, it's so good for them. I mean, they learn discipline, they learn respect, they learn that fighting isn't what you should do; it's a last resort. But they also learn how to protect themselves.
What was it like for your daughter to grow up with her mom being Sonya?
I don't know. You could ask her. She's right here watching me. Come over here and sit on my lap. This is Leah, my daughter.
I feel like I grew up.
Do you mind talking more into the mic?
Oh, I've had I would play Mortal Kombat with friends and have people beat my ass as my mom. So yeah, and I don't want to mess with her too much, but growing up, I don't know, I think her playing such a cool, disciplined character that was able to just I don't know. I've just learned a lot from her in terms of discipline and sticking up for myself and doing what's right. So yeah, she's a good mom. And I'm so happy that she's my mom and she's raised me. So
Did you ever get into martial arts?
No. Well,
We tried.
I tried. Me and my brother tried, but it was not for us. I don't think we made it past white belt together. So
Leah was a cheerleader.
I was a cheerleader, yeah.
But people on social media call her Cassie all the time. Every time she makes an appearance on my page.
Cassie Cage.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I get that all the time. Yep, that's super cool.
She's like, I'm out of here. That's enough.
What was the? I'm not as familiar with that storyline, but Sonya and Johnny had a romantic interest in the TV show?
And they had a child.
In the
Cassie.
TV show?
In the video game, too.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. There wasn't really much coverage on their relationship, but all of a sudden Cassie just popped up. I'm not even sure there was a marriage. I don't know. Was there a marriage?
I don't think so, because I interviewed Cassie Cage in one of the video games.
Yeah.
I didn't hear much about it.
Sorry.
And then what's the other item that you have here?
Oh, this is something that John Tobias gave me right before we shot MK4. I always got pages of the characters so that I could do the costume right. When I would get dressed, do makeup, or, just the little details and stuff. So he would give me these after he would design the character. And this is MK4 Sonya.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's the one where they took the photos and put you on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't believe you're giving me the original Mortal Kombat outfit.
That's you wish. Fight you for it and you'll lose.
When you go to conventions, what other video games have that type of love that Mortal Kombat has?
That I didn't do, you mean?
That you weren't part of, but you see the fan interaction, the way that people held on to the connection of those 90s video games. Would it be Street Fighter?
Oh, not really.
That's a different kind of.
Yeah, there's one that's not a video game. It would be Power Rangers.
Oh, that fandom.
Yeah. Yeah, there's, long lines. Whenever there's a Power Ranger, the lines are out the door.
Did you ever go on any auditions for stuff like that?
No. After Mortal Kombat, I had my twins and just decided to stay home. I did the Hollywood thing for a little bit, and it wasn't for me. I felt like I had a calling, and it was to go back home and have kids. And I didn't realize what I was in for, having my twins and them being so severely disabled. I was undiagnosed with a condition called Ehlers-Danlos at the time, so that's why I had them too early. It's a connective tissue disorder where things like to stretch and they don't stretch back. So that's why I stay so flexible. Flexibility is never a problem for me, so I can always keep my high kicks. But trying to keep a pregnancy was very challenging for me. And then having twins, a multiple birth on top of it, they were born at 28 weeks, so that's why they were disabled. They were 2 pounds. So I had to stay home. All the limelight and Hollywood and all that stuff just wasn't important anymore. I feel like I needed to be home.
You're doing art now?
Yes.
Were you doing that at that point too?
No.
How did you find that?
Oh, God. So then I was diagnosed with this Ehlers-Danlos at the age of 40. And I was marathoning, and I was a trainer. And the doctor said, this is like the worst thing you could be doing is these repetitive, competitive sports.
Marathons are really tough on your body.
Yeah. And I think I had like 4 under my belt at the time. And I don't know how many half marathons, but I was just running myself into the ground. And I had all of these injuries all the time. And I was like, I'm not doing any more than the average person. What is going on?
I did 4 half marathons, and I felt like my knees were just buckling.
Yeah, it's really hard on your body, but it's so satisfying, going across the finish line. And so I had to figure out what to do with all this time. Instead of running, miles and miles every day, I had to figure out. And I did a little painting in high school. So I decided to start painting. And I was actually doing a lot of philanthropic work too, helping with organized races. And Sean, my husband now, was my good friend at the time. And he asked me, he was like, if you could just quit everything and do whatever you want, what would it be? And I didn't even think about it. It just like popped out of my head. I said, I think I would, get an art studio and start painting. And then I thought, why did I just say that?
Were you an artist prior?
No.
Oh,
No,
wow.
I mean, I was creative. I did a lot of creative things. So I started painting, and the stuff that was coming out of me, the realism and stuff, was just, I didn't even know I had it in me. It's like one of those people that, never played the piano and they start playing these beautiful tunes. And I don't know if it was like part of the autism or what, but I just started painting, and it was like I just knew the colors. Everything was like you see like those autistic people on TV where all the formulas start coming out. It was like that, where I could see the layers before I made them, and I would just create these things. And then I started doing art shows around Chicago, and to get into a Chicago art an art show is like really hard. It's very competitive, and I was having no problem. They were like, "Wow, this is amazing!" And I remember once I was in my booth selling my art, and it was in the very beginning stages of my career and being an artist. This guy comes in, and he's got these glasses on the end of his nose and receding hairline with the sweater around his neck. And he's got a book under his arm, and he comes in and he's like flipping his glasses up and down, looking at my art. And he goes, and he looks me up and down, and he goes, "I can see your painting is very mature here. Where did you go to school?" And I go, "I just started doing this about 6 months ago." And he looks at me and he just scoffs, and he's like, "Oh," and he walks out of my he walks out of my booth, and he was just so disgusted with me, like, "Oh my God, a natural talent. How dare she?"
Why is there such like a high level of entry with art that it's not as welcoming?
I don't know. It's like either you got it or you don't, and some people try to go to school for it and get it, and they still don't get it. And it's kind of a sad thing, because art is so subjective, and anybody can like something. So, but yeah, you're right. It is kind of like that way.
What style of art do you focus in?
Well, I started out with realism and kind of got bored with that, so I moved into abstract, and I felt like that was more expressive for me. And now I've moved into epoxy resin and making chemical reactions, because I love science, I love chemistry, and I love making reactions. And I love copying what God has done, trying to make something look organic, like crystals or, rusted iron or something like that. It's so fun to me.
Do you have to get into a certain mindset when you're going into the studio?
No, but it's hard for me to get out of the mindset. Like
Once you're in it, you don't want to leave?
Yeah, I will sit in front of a painting for hours and work on it, and Sean will have to come up and say, "Hey, did you think maybe you could come down and eat?" He's always pulling me out and I don't mind it at all, because he's totally right. I need to like stop and take a break.
What's the biggest piece that you've ever done?
Biggest?
Yeah.
Probably like 4 by 5 foot, or no, 3 by 6 foot.
How long do those take?
It depends on what I'm doing. If it's like a chemical reactive type painting, just a few days. Depends on how many layers. Depends on if I'm using epoxy or not. It just depends.
Is there something
I could
about
spend a few days on one, and then I could spend a few weeks on one.
Is there something about the art world that you had no idea before getting into?
You know, my grandfather was a painter, and I watched him a lot in the studio. And gosh, he'd roll over in his grave right now if he found out how much I would sell a painting for, because he was always a starving artist, you know. And my mom got into it after I did, and she found out she could paint too, you know. And she was, I think she was like close to 60 at the time, and started painting. But I don't know. I didn't realize like how competitive it was. Maybe I'm not sure.
How much are
Or no, I know what it is. How much you have to, how much of your art is not painting, you know, like the website and the promotions and just the marketing. Yeah, I didn't really count on that, but I still like doing that too.
Do you ever use TikTok for promotions?
I should, but I don't.
You should film your process.
I do sometimes. I have posted a few things, but people don't want to see that. They want to see Sonya stuff. They want to see me on my hands, upside down, and doing martial arts and that kind of stuff. Every time I post something about my art, it just kind of goes. But I do have my side fanfare of my art. So
it's so crazy how you still are able to do all of the same movements.
No, I think it's just, like I said before, a frame of mind. I really don't want to stop doing it, so I'm not going to. No matter when I have pain, I push through it. Like right now, I'm having problems with my wrists because of Ehlers-Danlos. They're very hypermobile, so when I'm on my hands, I can lose my strength if I go too far over. And that's always a challenge. But I just, I get a wrist brace, or I just push through it. Take more peptides, whatever.
What got you originally into modeling?
My sister, my older sister.
Was there anything even before that, though?
No, I was a tomboy. No, I climbed trees and played with my animals on the farm. And me and my brother would, build tree houses and rode mini bikes, all that stuff. And never thought of myself as model material until I went down to Florida to visit my sister. And she was doing a Playboy shoot and eating potato chips and drinking the wine that they put out. And they turn around and they look at me and they said, "Do you want to get in the next shot with your sister?" And I'm like, me? So I said, "Yeah, sure. What the hell?" And that's how I got into it.
And that one decision just changed everything.
Yeah, just me sitting there watching my sister model. I thought it looked fun. It looked easy to me, and it was good pay. So I was going to school to be a veterinary technician at the time, and I quit and got into modeling.
What was the going rate at that point?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think it was like $500 a day.
That was crazy then.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, especially if you had a 3-day shoot, then it's $1,500. I can pay my rent this month.
What was the best paying job from Mortal Kombat? Was it filming the actual video games?
Yeah, I think so, because of the hours put in. Sometimes it would be a lot of hours being put in.
When people found out you were Mistress Helga,
they still don't know. Shh, don't tell them.
I never played that video game.
It took all your quarters. The kids would come with just their pockets filled with quarters and just dump all of them into Revolution X. And I think that's how they wanted it to be, because it took a lot of quarters to get to the end of the game. But yeah, it was interesting. I never got recognized for Mistress Helga because, she wears a black wig, sunglasses, motorcycle jacket.
Were you at the point where video games were going from the arcade to the home console?
Yeah.
So that was really disrupting the video game industry.
It really was, because, arcades, that was their moneymaker, was the quarters. So I remember getting tours of, Midway Valley and, seeing all of these coin-op machines being made. It was pretty cool. We'd have to walk through the factory to get to the studio. So it was always really cool to see that. And then, as the years went by, that you just didn't see that as much.
So would the bowling alleys, they wouldn't license it or anything. They would just buy the machine, put it in, collect all the revenue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You pay, a few grand for a cabinet and then make all your money with the quarters. I think that's what they still do, right?
I think so, but you don't really see it as much.
No, you don't. Did
you have a favorite character besides Sonya?
I like Sub-Zero. as far as female, I think it would be Katana, of course. You know, especially after seeing the movie, you gotta love Katana now, right?
She really shined in it.
She did. She did a great job.
I kind of wish Sindel had a little more scenes.
Yeah, that fight scene with her and Sonya was. I mean, I don't want to spoil or anything for somebody who hasn't seen it, but that was amazing.
What'd you think of Baraka?
Baraka, he was one of my favorites too. I loved that interaction, and that was awesome to bring that kind of light to Baraka. You know, I don't think people thought that much about Baraka until this movie.
No, his comic relief was so good.
Yeah, and so natural. It was great.
I hope he gets a bigger storyline in the next one.
I think he probably will. He's got to now, right?
He became a fan favorite, I feel.
Yeah, I think so too.
I got to interview Ludi, who was Liu Kang, and Max, who's Kung Lao.
Yes.
And Martin and CJ.
Yes.
And they all just seemed like it was the best experience because they really got to give the fans what they wanted.
Yeah. You know, just seeing them at the premiere, that's the first time I met everybody. You could tell there was just like this camaraderie, and like the time that they had spent together was just a great time. So that was really cool to see, because that's kind of like how we were too when we were shooting the video game. It was just like, I don't know, like this elite club, you know, that you get to be in.
Are there any other Mortal Kombat things besides the tour and the video game, like the filming, that really sticks out as a fun memory?
I think putting the costume back on in 2020 when all the shit was going down with COVID and all that stuff, and me turning 50, I was like, I'm turning 50. I want to do something. I want to do something that's going to like get attention, you know, and put a smile on people's face. And I had been asked to put that costume on for 20 years, and it sat in my basement for 20 years. When I brought it up, it smelled musty in like the basement.
Did you wash it?
Of course I did.
Okay.
That's not why I told you not to smell it. It's been washed a lot since then. But
it really doesn't look like it's that old.
I went to a couple of my girlfriends and I said, what do you think about this? Should I do it? And both of them were like, yes, do it. And I brought my friend Amber with me to this shoot. I found a photographer right away who wanted to shoot it. And as soon as I put that costume on for the first time in 20 years, it was like all these memories came flooding back. And my adrenaline started going and my heart rate went up. And it was just amazing how much it actually affected me when I put that costume on, because I had no idea it would affect me like that. And then I walked out and my girlfriend did the same thing. She just started clapping and she almost got teary-eyed because it was just this nostalgia that was coming out of the bathroom, you know, because she had played it when she was younger too. So it was just so much fun, you know, trying to get back into the kicks I hadn't done in 20 years. And my ass hurt so much the next day doing all these kicks. But that was like the beginning of it, you know. I started getting back into the martial arts and in the calisthenics and working out hard and improving my quality of life and getting stronger. And that was just like a turning point for me. And then for it to blow up on the internet and see how many people did miss me after 20 years. It was just an amazing thing.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So do you have any conventions coming up or anything?
No. I was just asked to do one, but I had like a problem with the schedule, so I wasn't able to do it. So I don't know, maybe next year. I don't know.
If anybody wants to check out your art, where can they find it?
KerriAnn.gallery.
Amazing. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me. It was nice.
This is awesome.
Glad I got to stop by in Hollywood and finally get to meet you.
Yes, you too. Where'd you film the video games? Was
Chicago.
Was that their headquarters?
Yep. Mm-hmm. It was California Avenue in Chicago.
And you just happened to live there? I
lived just in the suburbs west of there, but I would come down every day when I worked at Playboy, at the Playboy building.
Got it.
Yeah,
well, thank you for the gift. Appreciate it. Cool. Awesome. See you guys. That was great.
Thank you.